Noon on the East Coast, 9 a.m. on the West. I'm John Scott.
And I'm Jane Skinner. Let's get right to our hot list of what is happening this hour. Barry Bonds inside a federal courthouse right now, about to enter his plea on perjury and obstruction of justice charges relating to that steroid investigation.
And instead of a cheering crowd, baseball's all-time home run king is in federal court in San Francisco right now. Barry Bonds accused of lying to a grand jury about his use of steroids. He's being arraigned on perjury and obstruction of justice charges, which could land him in prison if he's convicted. There are reports that Bonds has made some changes to his defense team. Our Claudia Cowan is live outside the federal courthouse. I guess it was quite a scene there when he arrived, Claudia.
Oh, it really was. And even as we speak right now, John, the case of the United States versus Barry Lamar Bonds is beginning to unfold. He has surrendered to U.S. Marshals and right now is going through the formality of being arrested, complete with fingerprints and having a mugshot taken. It's all becoming very real for Barry Bonds here today. And what a scene it was when he arrived here at the federal courthouse just about a half hour ago, saying nothing as he made his way through the crush of reporters. His wife, attorney, and bodyguard by his side. Now, the home run king and former San Francisco Giant will plead not guilty to 4 counts of perjury and 1 count of obstruction. The judge in the case will set bail and possibly a trial date. Now, these charges stem from his denial of steroid use before a federal grand jury here in San Francisco back in 2003 that was investigating the Balco steroid case. Legal analysts say Bonds' defense going forward will likely be to stick to the I don't know defense.
For Bonds, the heart of his defense is going to be that when he told the grand jury he'd never used steroids, that in his mind he was telling the truth. And so for prosecutors, the question is, can they prove through some other players or through trainers or somebody else that Bonds said he knew they were steroids, or that by all accounts there was no doubt in his mind that when he went to Balco, he was getting steroids. That's what this case is about.
As for witnesses, look for federal prosecutors to call Bonds' former girlfriend, who claims to have firsthand knowledge of Bonds' doping, doctors and former business associates, and possibly other athletes who got steroids from the Balco lab. The defense will try to discredit all of them, and reportedly heading Team Bonds now is Christina Arguedas, one of the most respected and experienced criminal defense attorneys here in Northern California. Scores of reporters are here on hand for a story that is being followed around the world. No cameras inside the courtroom here, John, so we have a sketch artist and Fox News legal analyst Stan Goldman as well. It's quite possible that the next big visual coming out of today's arraignment will be that mugshot, and as soon as it's released, we'll have it for you right here on Fox News. John.
Claudia, besides the scrum of cameramen and reporters that we saw there outside, give us a little sense of the atmosphere. I read that there are signs, you know, pro-Bonds, anti-Bonds signs and banners all around the courthouse. What else is going on?
Well, at a big media event, Sean, you're going to get people who want to pitch their cause. We have protesters here from PETA as well. But yes, we have a number of Bonds supporters here saying that he's been railroaded, that this case is being overcharged, and that he has been unfairly singled out. Just a few of these folks. Got to tell you, though, when he went inside the federal courthouse here, made his way to the elevator, there was a big group of people inside that cheered for him. Bonds waved to them and made his way upstairs. You're going to see a lot of this kind of reaction in the coming weeks as this case moves along.
Hard to get a seat in that courtroom, I'm sure. Claudia Cowan, thank you. The embattled baseball slugger Barry Bonds making his first court appearance involving that steroid scandal. Just moments ago, we told you Bonds pleaded not guilty to perjury and obstruction of justice charges. He's accused of lying to a grand jury when he denied knowingly using steroids. There are reports the Oakland A's have expressed interest in hiring Bonds, who is a free agent. But is his baseball career over? With us now, Fox and Friends co-host Brian Kilmeade and sports attorney Ivan Gold. Ivan, to you first. No surprise, obviously, that Bonds would plead not guilty. Do you think that this "I didn't know they were steroids" defense could work for him?
I don't think so. I think Bonds' real defense in this case is governmental misconduct. The fact that these grand jury testimony transcripts were leaked. That's going to be Bonds' defense. He's going to fight hard on that, hope the case gets thrown out of court in motions. I don't know if Bonds is going to test that. I didn't know what I was taking with steroids. What Bonds is really saying is, look, My friend, my dear old friend Greg Anderson, who was my trainer, gave me these supplements because I had arthritis, because I needed energy, and I didn't know that they were steroids. But Greg Anderson had furnished other Major League players with steroids. They have doping calendars with Barry Bonds' name on them. They have positive test results with steroids, Barry Bonds' name on them. They have phone conversations, Greg Anderson, talking about Barry Bonds' steroid use, and they have a host of other Major League players who got steroids from Barry Bonds' trainer, Greg Anderson. That's why Anderson isn't talking. That defense will not work. It's governmental misconduct. Throw the case out, or else Barry Bonds may just have to enter a plea later on down the road.
The team, Brian, that he's played for years now, I guess more than a dozen years, the San Francisco Giants, cut him loose after this record-setting season where he became baseball's all-time home run king, and yet another team expressing some interest in him?
Yeah, and they did a poll in the San Francisco Chronicle, and they said to the people of that region, do you want him to be on the Oakland Athletics? 60% said no, forget him, dump him, but they still might sign him. The Oakland A's are known, John, to get bargains, players in their prime or before they peak, and get them for a discount rate. Barry Bonds at 43 can still play. He proved it, and he'd get to be a designated hitter, and he'd probably come cheap for him. $2, $3, $4 million, and he gets some people in the seats for them. And with this trial about a year away, most experts say, it might be worth the risk. Scott Boras, his agent, said he has never stopped working out, and there's word in the winter meetings that 2 other teams have expressed interest.
Well, what would be in it for him, just to add to this home run record that could one day either be eliminated or have an asterisk?
Somebody else to boo, and he also wants 3,000 hits. He has a few more records he wants to put out there. He also feels perhaps Alex Rodriguez is breathing down his neck. In about 7-8 years, he stays healthy. He'll surpass that, maybe get a shot at 800 homers. But legally, this guy seems to be in a lot of trouble, and I'd be very curious to see if he's going to take that same adversarial tone, him and his lawyer team, that they took all along the way. That tone is what sports writers get every time they approach him, and that tone is what he took in the courtroom, and that's pretty much why he's going through a metal detector now.
Ivan, there are as many opinions on the prosecution of Barry Bonds as there are people in this country, I think. But some say one take on it is that the government is just really overreaching, just persecuting this guy to embarrass him, to, try to put a cap on steroids in sports. What do you make of that?
I will say this. This indictment would never have come down if Barry Bonds was still playing with the San Francisco Giants and was still a star with the San Francisco Giants. It is no coincidence that this indictment came down after Bonds left the Giants, after the Giants severed ties with him, and his popularity is now sinking. Let me tell you something. This is a very, very difficult time for Major League Baseball, for Barry Bonds, and for the Giants. I do not think the federal government overreached in this case. They told Barry Bonds, look, if you don't tell us the truth, we're going to prosecute you for perjury. We will offer you immunity. Jason Giambi, Sheffield, Benito Santiago, a host of Major League players walked into that courtroom in front of the grand jury and said they took steroids. Barry Bonds is the only one who said no.
He had the most to lose.
Take them.
He had the most to lose. Those guys aren't going to be the all-time home run king. If the home run king says, but if he was honest with that court, which he should have been by all accounts and by, right and wrong, he would never be considered the real home run king. Yeah. And everything he worked his whole life for would have been down the drain.
Ryan,
no one's going to remember Jason Giambi in 10 years.
Brian Kilmeade and Ivan Gold. We've got to say goodbye. Ivan, thank you.
Okay.